Dedicated to the review of striking headlines in the papers. On today's edition of the program, the newspapers are talking about the meeting yesterday between CONAC officials and the Parliamentary Network for the Fight Against Corruption. CONAC is pushing for a legislation that will permit the institution to fight corruption directly, or the legislation that will empower the organ to fight corrupt officials in the country without necessarily reporting to the Presidency of the Republic. We shall talk about that this morning, not leaving out other major headlines that is in the newspapers this morning, especially the Anglophone crisis and what is happening in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, as the newspapers are telling us this morning. Scandal of Olembe Sports Complex is still making headlines in the papers, and also the increase in taxes. We are told that a circular has been signed by the Minister of Basic Education of the country, increasing the fees or the dues for those that will be sitting in for official examinations in the country at the level of primary school in the country. The fees has been increased to 6,000 francs CFA for those sitting in for SEP and the first school living certificate, as well as government common entrance examination into government schools, as we are told by some newspapers this morning. Gwladys Bomotonguina is here. Let's have what the French newspapers gather for us this morning. Bonjour Gwladys.
Bonjour Lasha Kinsley, bonjour à vous et merci de nous retrouver pour Debrief, votre émission bilingue de revue de presse. Ce matin, nous débutons rapidement avec l'info à chaud. L'info à chaud, ce matin, nous plonge à Paris pour nous parler ici du procès de Bolloré. Le journal nous révèle ce matin que Bolloré perd donc son procès contre le port autonome de Douala. Les détails sont en page 4 de l'info à chaud ce matin. En page 5, le journal nous parle de l'infrastructure, des infrastructures routières au Cameroun. L'ambassadeur des États-Unis apprécie donc les opportunités de coopération. En page 6, le journal nous parle de l'affaire Dame Ongolo Marie-Jeanne. Ce qui est bon à savoir, c'est donc dans cette édition de l'info à chaud à sa page 6. Nous poursuivons avec Émergence Quotidien. Ce matin, Émergence Quotidien nous parle en grand titre du CEP et du First School Living Certificate. Les frais d'examen s'envolent. Les détails sont donc en page 5 d'Émergence Quotidien ce matin. En page 8, le journal nous parle du classement du Cameroun. Le Cameroun est donc 17e armée en Afrique. Toujours dans le même journal, en page 2, le journal nous parle du coût de l'énergie électrique. Les aciéries s'opposent donc à la hausse des tarifs. Nous restons toujours dans Émergence Quotidien, mesdames, messieurs. Ce matin, à sa page 3, nous parle de dynamisation du transport aérien. Une conférence internationale est donc annoncée à Douala. Nous poursuivons avec l'Indépendant ce matin. L'Indépendant parle en grand titre du scandale d'Olembe, la réalisation récente du contrat de l'entreprise canadienne McGill dans le cadre du parachèvement des travaux du complexe sportif d'Olembe remet donc au goût du jour la correspondance datée du 19 février 2021 de l'honorable Jean-Michel Nintieux, interpellant le ministre d'État, secrétaire général à la présidence de la République, Ferdinand Gongo, sur l'état global du parachèvement du SCO, non sans attirer son attention sur les forts soupçons de surfacturation. Les détails sont donc en page 2 jusqu'à 8 de l'Indépendant ce matin. Mesdames, Messieurs, nous continuons avec Mutation Quotidien. Ce matin, nous amène toujours dans l'éducation de base au Cameroun. L'addition salée, c'est le grand titre ce matin de Mutation Quotidien. Les frais d'inscription au certificat d'études primaires, au First School Living Certificate et au concours d'entrée en 6e sont donc revus à la hausse au Cameroun. Les détails sont en page 9 de Mutation Quotidien ce matin. En page 3, le journal nous parle de corrélation Cameroun-Nigeria, ère de brouille à la frontière. C'est du moins l'information parue ce matin par Mutation Quotidien. Nous continuons avec le journal Le Jour. Lui aussi nous parle en grand titre des examens officiels. Les écoliers paieront donc dorénavant plus au Cameroun. Une circulaire de Laurent Serge Etoudingwa signée le 9 janvier 2023 revoit donc à la hausse les contributions financières en vue de l'enrôlement des candidats aux examens organisés par le ministère de l'Éducation de base. Les détails sont en page 3 du journal bleu d'Amanmana ce matin. Nous clôturons avec l'économie quotidien. L'économie quotidien nous parle en grand titre de recettes douanières au Cameroun. Le journal nous précise ce matin que le Cameroun a perdu avec les APE en 2022 beaucoup d'argent. Les chiffres ont été révélés le 9 janvier 2023 au cours de la réunion de coordination des responsables des services centraux de décentralisation de la Direction générale des douanes. Les détails sont donc en page 3 de l'économie quotidien ce matin. En entreprise, la liste des agences conseils et régies publicitaires agréées en 2023 sont donc publiés dans cet article de l'économie quotidien à sa page 9. Mesdames, Messieurs, voilà pour vos titres ce matin. En langue française, place à la découverte de ces titres en langue anglaise et c'est avec toi, Lasha.
Thank you, Gwladys. Bomotonguina. Let's kick starts this morning with the National Bilingual Daily Cameroon Tribune. Cameroon Tribune this morning is telling us about the circular signed by the Minister of Basic Education of the country, Laurent Serge Etundi Ngua, concerning the 2023 SEP First School Living Certificate and Government Common Entrance Examinations into Form 1 of General and Technical Education. Registration fee increases to CFA 6,000 francs. The new modalities indicate that the increase is due to the cost of stamps. This is contained in a circular signed by Basic Education Minister Professor Laurent Serge Etundi Ngua relating to the collection, preservation and management of registration fees for official examinations for the year 2023. That's 2023 session in accordance with the new finance law of 2023. More details on pages 14 and 15 of this edition of the National Bilingual Daily Cameroon Tribune. Cameroon Tribune is also telling us this morning or talking about the meeting between CONAC and the Parliamentary Network for the Fight Against Corruption. We are told that CONAC is pushing for a legislation that will have or give the institution independence to fight corrupt practices in the country, and this was during a meeting yesterday in Yaoundé between officials of that institution and the Parliamentary Network for the Fight Against Corruption. As we are told, revamping wheat production in the country, improved seeds available. We are told that the seed multiplication farm in Wazade in Adamawa region of the country is set to produce 180 tons of seeds that could be propagated to other regions of the country. In an interministerial delegation visited the locality Monday to evaluate progress made so far. Details on page 8 of this edition of the National Bilingual Daily Cameroon Tribune. On to municipal updates. Newspaper municipal updates is taking us to Meme division of the Southwest region to talk about Mbonge and Kumbatu councils that have acquired trucks to enhance development. Get full details on pages 4 and 8 or pages 4 through 8 of this edition of Municipal Updates newspaper. And the end of year speech of President Paul Biya, we are told that Professor Mulo has said Biya's end of year speech was anchored on communal liberalism. Full details in this edition of the said newspaper. The Limbe City Council to run on a budget of CFA 7 billion this 2023. Full details of the budget and areas or priority areas on page 6 of this edition of the said newspaper. On to the Sun. The Sun newspaper this morning is also interested in what is happening at the level of the Limbe City Council. We are told the councillors of that city council have reiterated overwhelming joy to President Paul Biya for investing youngest city mayor in the country. Read motion and landmark resolutions taken during a meeting in Limbe in the southwest region of the country on pages 6 and 7 of this edition of the Sun newspaper. And the Sun newspaper is also bringing to us priorities of the Public Works Ministry this 2023. Public Works Ministry programs 57 motorways, expressways, routes, and arts works in 2023. Full details on page 3 of this edition of the Sun newspaper. We leave the Sun. We are ending this morning, of course, with the Guardian Post newspaper. The Guardian Post this morning is interested in the fight against corruption in the country and to enhance effective corruption fight. Konak boss urges MPs to vote law granting institution independence. We are told the president of the National Anti-Corruption Committee, Konak, Reverend Dr. Diodene Masigams, has urged parliamentarians to legislate a law that will guarantee the independence of the institution in a bid to effectively fight corruption in the country. The Konak president made the appeal yesterday during a working session with members of the Parliamentary Network for the Fight Against Corruption, as we are reading in the Guardian Post newspaper. Thank you for watching Televias on My Media Prime. We are back in the studio to continue with our discussions this morning. Joining us this morning on the line to Nigeria is the Youth Council President for Ngokutunja, not Ngokutunja, for Balenkumba Subdivision in Ngokutunja Division of the Northwest Region. Dr. Sama Silvanus is joining us on the line to Nigeria this morning. And we are also opening our lines to other televiewers who might be interested in calling us to chip in their contribution, especially what Konak wants to do when it comes to fighting corruption. Konak is pushing for legislation that will give independence to the said institution to be able to fight corruption in the country. Dr. Sama Silvanus, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Lasha Kingsley. Good morning, Madam Gwladys. Thank you for the renewed confidence in this 2023 for me to be part of your panel. Let me extend my New Year greetings to the President of the Republic and equally the President founder of My Media Prime TV. I can go as far as extending my New Year greetings to all the funds of Balikuma Subdivision and all the youth who are very much close to My Media Prime TV this morning, knowing that I'll be live to discuss about some pertinent issues that you judge better we should talk about.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much to
Happy New Year and congratulations.
For the privilege again, and special greeting to millions of televiewers.
Congratulations for your election. You were elected in December as the subdivisional president for Cameroon Youth Council in Balenkumba subdivision. Congratulations. We begin this morning with Konak, what Konak is doing. Konak had a meeting with members of parliament for the Parliamentary Network, the fight against corruption in the country, and Konak is pushing for a legislation that will give independence to the said organ to be able to fight corruption.
Yes, Mr. Lasha Kingsley, thank you for your words of congratulations. And I used to always say that the most important thing is not the post that you hold, but the important thing is the service that you can render. As regard vis-a-vis of the power that have been bestowed on you, and that will be my task in the days ahead. As regard the Konak, if you ask a grandmother, maybe my grandmother from Balikumbat village, on what Konak is all about, she may not tell you, and the impact that Konak has created in her life, she may not tell you. Because it is believed that till now, Konak remains a commission agreed by some people who have the power, and the objective, their hidden objective is satisfy themselves. Because if you look at, a single Cameroonian cannot tell you what Konak have done in his life since the creation of that commission. We don't exactly feel the direct impact of that commission, because every day, every year, we talk about corruption, any speech, end of year, either is the end of year speech or is the address to the youth by the president. He will keep mentioning that he will arrest those that are illicitly enriching themselves. But every year by year, we keep having the same result. So we feel like to ask ourselves, the Konak, is it just a two-level bulldog?
Most you Cameroonians, the doctor,
most cannot bite in action.
Doctor,
so I feel like...
Yes, doctor, let me just cut you there. Must you Cameroonians steal? Must you steal and wait for Konak to come and arrest you, where have you kept your patriotism as a patriotic citizen? You are put in a public office. The goal is to steal, not, use our office to better the life of the common man.
Yeah, that question, I think it is a matter of shared responsibilities. The employer, which is the government, who employs the citizen, naturally, the citizens are supposed to be well remunerated for them to be able to do their job quietly and honestly. But that does not justify the fact that they have to embezzle, because the more you embezzle, you cripple Cameroonians. And we always say that embezzlement have killed more than guns. Because when now we are complaining, no light in Cameroon, no water, we talk about lack of fuel. All those things, the reason why we lack finances in order to continue those projects or to subsidize those activities is because those that are in possession of power have collected the money and put in their pocket. Some are in prison. Some have enriched their other countries. Because when you embezzle, some people, when they embezzle from Cameroon, the money is not in Cameroon. The money has been transferred to other countries. And they enrich those countries, they boost the economy of those countries. So there's total lack of patriotism. And I still want to encourage the government that whenever they give opportunity for people to work, let them be remunerated accordingly, so that they cannot be, whenever they have the opportunity or when they are tempted, they cannot submit to that temptation. Mr. Lasha Kingsley, I must be honest with you. No, there's nobody is honest. At the same time, nobody is a thief. Condition transform people. For example, me, I cannot totally tell you that I'm a total honest citizen, except I am faced with a situation whereby I have the opportunity to steal, but I don't steal. But for me not to be tempted, I need to have something that can motivate me not to be tempted. Because if I have maybe 100,000, why will I envy, or why will I envy another 100,000 elsewhere? I cannot, because I have my own to take care of myself. So let the Cameroon government equally remunerate their civil servant, so that they will not be tempted whenever they are when they are faced to any form of temptation that can lead them to embezzlement or stealing.
Docteur, on parle ici des détournements à hauteur dont la base, ou bien, la base, c'est le milliard. On ne parle pas de 1000, on parle de milliards. La base, c'est le milliard.
Justement,
the lines. Oh. We are sorry, doctor. We have to cut you there. We're hoping that the technicians work on the line or your network gets better. Notwithstanding, the lines are open, like I did mention during my introduction, for you to call us and tell us what you think about CONAC pushing for a legislation that will give independence to the institution to fight corruption in the country. You can call us and tell us what you think. If Parliament pass a bill which will be promulgated by President Paul Biya as into law, giving independence to CONAC, do you think CONAC will be able to achieve what the institution wants to achieve by fighting or making corruption to be reduced to the minimum level in the country? Just call us and tell us what you think. Gwladys, we are talking about that meeting yesterday. Was it really called for? Are we sure that if that bill is passed in Parliament, CONAC will be able to do the job this time around?
Good morning, Mr. Lasha.
Okay.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Lasha.
Good morning. Your name, where you are calling us from?
I'm called Mr. Mbako Ivo Achi. I'm calling from Yaoundé, exactly at Korong.
Okay. Mbako Ivo, we are listening.
Yeah, God bless. Yeah, God bless you for the job you are doing. I want to comment on this issue of CONAC. You know, the problem with CONAC is that CONAC is not independent. If at all CONAC was independent, he could execute people who have invested money from the country. He believes that this investment will drop. Because the problem is that when CONAC goes out and they do investigation, this money, if I invested billions, but they take the matter to the presidency, they are waiting for the president to approve of it before they can take further action. But now the problem is they are taking a good footing. But with it with each host, like someone said, c'est better action, mais est-ce que every because most of the people that he asked that they should vote a law so that Konak can have full power of his own to arrest those people. They are still members of those same courts. But if they can really vote this law, I believe Konak will be fully empowered to arrest those people, judge them, and collect back the money. Because you see the country everywhere, their prices are going up. There's no more, but people are investing money and are putting their pockets. Why Cameroonians are suffering?
Okay.
So that's all my contribution. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so there's some hope, as you are saying. Doctor, you are back. Your lines were not good when you were trying to make a point. Gwladys asked you. I don't know if you are getting us.
Yeah, Mr. Lasha, please, I can hear you.
Yes, just move on from where you ended.
Yes, I was saying that I was answering to Madam Gwladys that she said she talked about embezzling of billions. Mr. Lasha Kingsley, if we calculate the monthly salary of civil servants in Cameroon that are a little bit acceptable, talking about 400,000. That means if a civil servant earns 400,000 in Cameroon every month, within 35 years, he will earn 1,680,000. Within 35 years, that means when he goes on retire, 168 million, I mean. He will earn 168 million before he goes on retirement. So now, Mr. Lasha Kingsley, when we look at the responsibilities, when we look at all what we are going through in the country now, in the society at large, you will see that somebody who knows that within 35 years of service, he can go back with 168 million. To him, it is very, very, very small as compared to the way he wants to live his life or according to respecting basic norms. So this person can be tempted if he has the opportunity to embezzle maybe 1 billion, as we're talking about, or 2 billion, or any number of billion that we are talking about. That does not still justify the fact that we have to do that. But when we are blaming the corporate, we should equally blame those that are in position of powers. Let the government, let the Cameroon government look at the salary of their civil servants, because it's tempting. Honestly speaking, it's tempting. You agree with me that rarely, except a civil servant who is so economical that he can, before he goes on retirement, he has a house. The question, what type of house? You will see somebody who decides to go on business, to do business. Between 5, 6, 7, going to 10 years, he already has a mansion. There's somebody who decides to work for the state of the government, work for the government, who work for 30 years without having a house. Mr. Lasha Kingsley, it is tempting. So
donc, selon vous, docteur, selon vous,
we can help to avoid or encourage patriotism.
Okay. Gwladys, just go on.
Ok, docteur, j'espère que la ligne sera rétablie. Donc, selon vous, vous pensez qu'au Cameroun, on devrait augmenter les salaires des individus pour éviter ou bien pour réduire le taux de détournement de fonds publics?
Moi, je suis pour ceux qui pensent que si les fonctionnaires camerounais sont bien rémunérés, de telle sorte qu'ils peuvent prendre soin de leur quotidien, je pense que ça pourra réduire le taux de détournement au Cameroun. Parce que, prenons l'exemple terre à terre. Vous travaillez dans une boutique et vous êtes au courant du montant journalier qui entre dans cette boutique ou bien dans cette structure. Vous êtes même caissier. Et vous savez très bien, votre entreprise fait les entrées au moins de 5 à 10 millions par jour. Et en fin du mois, on vous paye 60 000. Madame, il y a un jour, vous serez tenté. Donc, par moment, il faut bien rémunérer les subalternes ou alors les emplois.
Okay, you have made your point, doctor, that the problem of corruption in the country could be solved by increasing the salaries of civil servants or those that are put in those positions. But sometimes these people, they have huge allowances. Especially when we talk about general managers of state corporations and whatever, most of them, they have allowances, you know, they have free security, they have cooks, they have other advantages that are given to them. So why steal again? Why steal again? That's a question we are asking. Doctor is only hitting on the fact that they are not well paid, they don't have good remuneration. The government should see into that. But most of these people, they are well to do.
Lasha Kinsley, si on paye votre maison, hein? On paye vos factures de lumière et d'eau, et puis peut-être, je sais pas moi trop quoi, on vous donne peut-être 20 000 francs de ration.
You have cook.
Oui, on vous paye peut-être les employés.
When you have meetings in your house or you have occasions in your house, there's an allowance for that, for food, drinks and everything.
Je pense que chacun de nous, en tant qu'être humain, on a des projets, on a des choses qu'on veut réaliser. On peut te payer toutes ces choses-là, et si tu n'arrives pas à réaliser ce dont tu veux réaliser.
Yes, good morning, sir. Your name, where are you calling us from?
This is Mr. Bison calling from Yaoundé, precisely DMRC.
Yes, Mr. Bison. Move on.
Yeah, Mr. Lasha, I just want to say there is no excuse for corruption. And Cameroonians need to know that first we have a very corrupt government. And for CONAC to go ahead to meet with whosoever and all that to stop corruption and all that, Mr. Lasha, this country just needs a change. That is it.
What kind of change?
A change of government from the top to the bottom.
What kind of change?
Need a new regime. That is it, to stop this corruption. There is no excuse for that.
You say a new regime?
Itself, I don't really too trust them even anymore. Mr. Lasha, please, we need a change. That is it. Thank you.
Thank you. If you are sitting there, can you answer this other question? Where will the people come from that you're talking about the change?
The youth. There is a new generation that can come up with.
Oh, we've lost him? Yes, he's gone.
Pour répondre à cette question, Lasha Kinsley, moi je voudrais dire ceci, c'est que s'il y a une nouvelle organisation, d'autres personnes qui sont en charge et qui c'est vrai qu'on déteste entendre le mot dictateur, mais on a besoin de dictature au Cameroun. Parce que lorsque tu écoutes, moi par exemple, quand j'écoute mes parents parler de l'époque d'Amadou Ahidjo, comment est-ce qu'ils se comportaient avec les gens qui volaient et consorts, comment est-ce que les Camerounais vivaient à cette époque, je me rends compte que on a besoin de ce type de personne qui va frapper fort, de telle sorte que quand quelqu'un pense à voler, il sache que en volant, voilà la conséquence qui va suivre parce qu'il a vu, on a appliqué ça sur quelqu'un d'autre. Pourquoi je le dis? Parfois, il est important de frapper fort, Lasha Kinsley. Au niveau où nous sommes aujourd'hui au Cameroun, on a besoin d'être strict. On en a besoin. C'est pour le bien des Camerounais encore eux-mêmes. En dehors du fait d'être strict d'un gouvernement qui sera plus strict en ce qui concerne les détournements de fonds, on a besoin au jour d'aujourd'hui de commencer à inculquer à nos enfants dans les établissements scolaires l'amour de la patrie. Parce que si vous regardez bien dans les pays européens, c'est vrai qu'il y a les détournements aussi là-bas, mais ce n'est pas aussi élevé qu'au Cameroun. Tu vas te rendre compte.
Au Cameroun, les gens parlent de détournement dette.
Voilà. Tu vas te rendre compte, Lasha Kinsley, que l'information qu'on donne à ces individus, c'est que c'est la patrie d'abord et toi après.
Good morning, sir. Where are you calling us from? Your name?
I'm calling from Kumba. I'm Simon.
Yes, Mr. Simon. Right on. Your contributions. We are talking about CONAC.
Good morning, Mr. Lasha. You know, even if you pay the Cameroonians $1 million every month, they will still steal because their way of playing their life is too high. They like high life. They like to give money to girls, to even pay rent for girls. Even in the Nations Cup, they were dying in the nightclub, playing, drinking, but buying one wine for $1 million, all those things, Mr. Lasha, corruption will never end in this country.
So you're not confident, you don't have any hope that it might be reduced to a certain level if that bill is passed by Parliament?
When that bill is passed by Parliament, I don't know whether the CONAC board have taken instruction from the president, because they always say high instruction from the president. It means that the CONAC board is challenging the president of this country to hold that post with every bit and bit of criminality. I don't know whether the president knows about it.
So is everything supposed to come from the president? We have separation of power in the country. We have other arms of government.
From the president, Mr.
The
Lasha,
parliament is to legislate law.
They always say. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah, so I'm afraid of that. The CONAC boss, is just doing something to try. They will not succeed. And if he has not taken any instruction from the president, they will blow him out of that post.
Okay, thank you for calling. They'll throw him out of that post. Dr. Silvanus,
Okay.
This last caller is saying that the CONAC boss is just playing around, that if he has not received instructions from the presidency, he might be thrown out of his office for trying to do what he's doing. Are you there? Oh, we're still having issues.
I cannot.
Yes, I'm saying the last caller just said that CONAC boss is just playing around, that if he has not taken instruction from the presidency, he might be thrown out of his office for trying to do what he's doing.
Yeah, actually, Mr. Lasha, I think they work with an already pre-established agenda, and you know, if the CONAC boss or whoever is organizing the commission, really, if he doesn't take instruction from the presidency, definitely he'll be packed out from his office, because these are people that majority of them are nominated based on approval, and the approval comes from the presidency. So he is working in line to satisfy equally those who campaign for him to be voted or to be placed or to be nominated where he is. So it's very normal. You cannot beat the finger, or you cannot bite the finger that is feeding you. But my problem is that corruption is transgenerational, in the sense that the new civil servant and the young civil servants now who don't have much responsibilities as the bridge, and in responsibilities, including family responsibilities, and there's an age that when they feel like they have not had enough, that is the reason why whenever they have the opportunity to amass wealth, they amass it for themselves, though selfishly. So that when I insist on government remunerating, you notice with me that Mr. Lasha Kingsley, those that are being tagged as ambassadors, you see that there are people that are already they are working toward the last years
of their life,
of their function in the civil service. So it's from there that when they now flash back, they notice that they have not accumulated enough. Maybe they have not invested enough. It's from there they begin to embed. So my advice, or I wish that the government begin to recognize, begin to fight the corruption right from school, and the young people, the youth, who first have their matricule, let them begin to be honored accordingly, to kill that spirit in the future. Because it's not somebody who begins to work today that is to see immediately. It's generally at the long run.
Doctor, how do you convince a young man who is very bright, who leaves school very bright, intelligent, but to get into some of these prestigious schools in the country, he's asked to pay some money. He sells his father's land and other properties, get into those schools. How do you convince him to come out and be patriotic?
That is the exact challenge. Because we are talking about peace. Everybody wants peace in the country. Peace cannot be gotten when the children of the nobodies can never become somebody without knowing somebody who knows somebody. So those people who are the children of the nobodies, for them to have access to those positions, as you rightly said, they have to go around, sell some things, though it's not there's no evidence. I cannot totally assume confirm what I'm saying with exactitude or with evidence. But it is what is the idea, is a concept that is being propagated all over. But if that is the case, it's very normal that whenever he has an opportunity to come in contact with money, he will want to, embezzle enough in order to replace maybe whatever thing he sold or wherever he borrowed money from in order to replace it. So it's a system. Cameroonian really, for those that believe that somebody said for Cameroon to be the way we want, everybody have to be killed. and they will give birth to new children that we can impact.
And where would the new children come from? Which blood? Oui, docteur. Ok.
Je pense plutôt, docteur, qu'on a besoin à ce niveau d'un gouvernement un peu plus strict. On ne peut pas tuer quand même tous les Camerounais en même temps.
Are you there?
Oui, Madame Gwladys, vous avez dit à l'entame que il y a un point de laxisme dans le pays où on se trouve. Tellement de laxisme. S'il y avait des mesures un peu plus fortes, comme vous avez bien souligné, que quand quelqu'un est arrêté ou peut-être il a été arrêté pour embezzlement, normalement, il faut des mesures très fortes. L'emprisonnement, 50, même si c'est 50 ans, si moi j'ai détourné, je ne sais pas trop, 200 milliards, et vous me donnez 50 ans d'emprisonnement ferme et que je suis dans mes derniers jours sur terre, moi, je vais même accepter qu'il n'y ait pas même me reposer pour que ma génération font bon usage de ce que j'ai donc détourné. Donc, il est temps qu'il y ait un peu des mesures plus fortes. Bon, avec la loi de Human Rights, on ne peut pas dire qu'il faut qu'on élimine les gens qui ont détourné, mais il faut donc des mesures un peu plus sereines, un peu plus fortes pour combattre cet esprit de corruption. Parce que vraiment, c'est de génération en génération. La génération nouvelle sera plus dangereuse que la génération ancienne.
So look at what is happening at the level of Limbe Sports Complex, where the scandals, they keep coming up every day. Companies resigning from their work. Yes, good morning. Your name, please, and where you are calling us from?
Richard from Yaoundé.
Yes.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting topic, corruption, which is cancer one in our society today. But I would like to agree with the doctor that it is not only when people are initiated that we stop corruption. Those who are much involved in corruption are the very, very rich persons in Cameroon. They're not an ordinary man who is there. So the excuse that people should, the government should be made to go anywhere and they can stop corruption. We don't think that the neighbors should tell the public what aspect it is encouraging the corruption in the country. Nobody can have water. But I'm just trying to say that the vision is that corruption destroys the economy, destroys the population. The country cannot eliminate when the population is suffering. The measures of the country cannot come on when the population is suffering. The nations all over the world may as one, as an entity. Good afternoon, Anthony.
Okay. Thank you for calling, sir. Thank you. Doctor, you listened to the last caller there. Almost everybody is against your point of remuneration. That will not solve the problem of corruption in Cameroon. Whether you give Cameroonian a salary of 1 million, they will still steal because of their lifestyle.
No, we cannot sit from distance and conclude. Mr. Lasha Kingsley, permit me. I am an employer in Nigeria. I have more than 30 staffs. Right from the day I began employing, I have never had a problem of either wrong account, corruption, stealing. I've never had it. All my employees have been so accountable to me to a fault. And if you ask me what is my secret, I will let you know that it is because I prone humanity. I believe that I am a boss, and if I'm a boss, my subordinates equally have their responsibility, they have their basic need. So though no human being can be satisfied at all levels, but at least it's important to give them the minimum. So my staff have the minimum. If you see them now, they jubilate, they are so joyous. And whenever I travel, whenever I go, I don't have any problem with my office, because when I come, I will get exactly what I expect. This is from there that I have confidence on the fact that if Cameroonians, if you listen to civil servants in Cameroon, they will tell you, on the pay come here. We talk about the minimum wage, which is about 30-something thousand, which cannot rent a reasonable house.
It's a reasonable house.
You cannot rent a house at all.
Are you talking about a room?
A room at all.
A house. A room, a house.
So, some people talk about Article 2, which means that somebody is liable to regular and irregular advantages. How many services in Cameroon can have access to that Article 2? So, when there's no Article 2, wherever they are, they create their own Article 2. They will tell you in French that la chèvre brute la queue est attachée. So everybody believes he's a goat, and any goat will eat wherever he's tied. So I believe that if the Cameroon government try as much as possible to see into the salary of their civil servant, and for those that believe that the rate of corruption in Cameroon will change. And it's progressive. It's a change is progressive, and it has to start with the youth of now.
Okay. Doctor, thank you. Our time is up. We are almost going out of the studio. Thank you so much for taking our time to talk to us. Though the lines
malheureusement, on n'a pas pu parler de l'augmentation du common entrance.
Common entrance, oui, mais on va parler de ça demain. We will talk about that tomorrow.
Patience from Limbe.
Yes, Patience.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lasha. Thank you for the privilege.
Yes. Patience, you are the last caller for the day. You are the last caller for the day. Can you contribute? Go ahead.
Okay. Concerning, let me start with what doctor is saying. Though many people are refusing, but I get to encounter someone that said is because they do corruption because their salary is very low. Secondly, when you get into the system, when the people are doing corrupt, before you know it, you are also doing the same thing. Especially when in your mind you don't want to realize the issue of corruption. You just want to continue. It will take someone that knows that corruption is really bad to change. Okay. Secondly, the population is not educated. If they have educated the population on what they have to know while entering offices, I believe the corruption will be reduced. There are people that go to office and don't know what is required. And when they want to ask, the next thing they'll tell them is that give me money. They ask money unnecessarily. But the person now will be giving, not knowing that it's not necessary for the money to be given. So there are so many officers that are just asking money for nothing. But you as a citizen or as a citizen that you don't know what is going on in that particular office, you will be giving them knowing that is right.
Okay. Thank you very much, madam. Thank you, Patience. Our time is up. Thank you for contributing this morning. I want to say thank you to all our callers, and thank you to Dr. Sama Silvanus, who is the sub-divisional president for Cameroon Youth Council in Balinkumbat. He was calling us this morning from Nigeria, and hopefully we will be together next week. Thank you to Gwladys for coming this morning. You were my co-presenter for the program this morning. And of course, the program was produced for us by Christain Tebong. Christain Tebong was there for the program this morning. We have been Gwladys Bomotonguina, like I earlier mentioned, and myself, Lasha Kingsley, hoping to meet with you again tomorrow for yet another edition of the program. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Welcome to a new world of TV broadcasting. My Media Prime. News, discovery, culture, sports, entertainment. A BT Media Group channel with slogan, The African Eye. My Media Prime is 80% of content in English language and 20% in French, 24 on 24. Now available.